The NFL draft is shaping up to be the lifeblood of the Minnesota Vikings offensive line if they want to get something going up front this season and try to win a dozen Lombardies in the next 10 years. So here are the top 20 offensive line prospects in the draft on our big board. Production value. Up at the top, Sewell, 20 years old, 6'5", 325, just had his pro day. All-world physical upsize. The size, the speed, the quickness, the strength. He's got everything. Now, he's certainly not as polished as Rashaan Slater or Christian Darius, but you are betting on the upside. That's why I think that he's going to be the first offensive lineman off the board. 95.8 PFF grade in 2019. Only one sack allowed over 2 years. And if he falls out of the top 6... I mean, the Vikings have to consider it. If he gets past the Lions at 7, let's say that Carolina probably going quarterback, Denver, George Payton, what up? I would be over the moon if the Vikings move heaven and earth to get Penei Sewell. And guess what? Hey, sorry, Ezra. You're going to be inside a guard. You place Penei at left tackle no matter what, and just go with it. Number 2, so my guy, Christian Darius, 21 years old, 6'5", 314, perfect length and size for left tackle. Great bounce in the feet, can also road grade in the running game, and is really scheme agnostic, can also get second level if you're running a lot of zone. 95.6 PFF grade in 2020, 6 pressures, 0 sacks allowed, working in the ACC, and he's my guy because I feel like he has the fewest questions compared to Rashaan Slater. Slater, you have questions about the length as well as anchor. Darius is rock solid and good to go there. 3, Rashaan Slater. Even though we sort of talk bad about him, no, Rashaan Slater is a bad dude, man. I actually think that he has the best bounce in his feet in the draft. Full-on athlete, lacking in length, but tenacious. And everyone talks about, he can kick inside the guard. I'm not sure, but I would take my chances with him at tackle. And if Darius or Slater are there at 14, get him. Absolutely get him. Rashaan Slater with all the drawbacks, like ask Chase Young of the Ohio State University how Rashaan Slater rolls. Number 4, AVT. My top interior offensive lineman. Great balance, tough physical kid, phone booth type player. Probably best suited for left guard. In 2019, he posted an 87.9 PFF pass blocking grade. Did play some tackle last year. It's not going to be his best position. And I understand that it's not the sexiest pick, and it does seem like the Vikings would have a lot of other talent on board at 14 if they just stick and pick with AVT. But at the end of the day, you can't complain about it. Be your left guard starter day 1 as your Cleveland left tackle, and you're good to go. 5, so a guy who's flying under the radar a bit, Tevin Jenkins, Oklahoma State, 23, maybe one of the reasons why. 6'6", 320. He's the mauler. Like, he is the garbage man. Like, he's going to throw every defensive end dude out of the club. Physicality in the Big 12, you love to see it. Mostly played right tackle. I think he does have some left tackle flexibility in the league as well. 92 PFF grade in 2020, 4 pressures, 0 sacks allowed. I think 14 is a little rich for Tevin Jenkins, but if the Vikings are able to maneuver in the first round, get into the late teens or even early 20s, Jenkins should absolutely be that guy. 6, Landon Dickerson. He's my guy. He's my man. 6'6", 325. Tough, physical leader of men. Can play all 5 spots. Scheme agnostic. Can run power like he did at Bama. Can run zone like he did at Florida State. You are worried about the knees. Absolutely worried about the knees. Continuing issues with those. But he is the last guy with a first-round grade for me. Everyone else, high-end second round, day 2-ish type area. But again, 14 definitely seems a little bit too rich for Dickerson, but if the Vikings do maneuver, go ahead. 7, Dylan Radins, NDSU, 22, 6'6", 304. Small school athletic freak. Trey Lance's blindside protector. 2-year starter for the NDSU Bison. Of course, 2020 NDSU went away. MVC conference went away, except for that one really random game. But posted an 87.2 PFF pass blocking grade in 2019. And it is tough to parse out. Is he a great left tackle, or are his numbers looking really good because he has a mobile quarterback and they run a college-style offense? That's always tough to parse out. But the pride of Becker, Minnesota, does have a lot of upside. I think that he could sneaky be a first-round pick in the upcoming draft. Number 8, Sam Cosmi. 6'7", 300. He is the Ezra Cleveland, Brian O'Neill of this draft. Tall, long, lean, basketball athleticism. He is a power forward out there. 90.8 PFF grade in 2020, watching Sam Ehlinger's blind side. And if you take Cosmi, what do? Have Cosmi play tackle, have Cleveland play guard. I would actually prefer Cosmi inside because I think Cosmi has a little bit better anchor than Ezra Cleveland and a little bit more functional strength on the inside. And I think that Ezra just has a little bit more bounce to the ounce at tackle. So that's how I would deploy it at first. But with Cosme. Again, 14 seems high. Late first, sure. Top of the second, absolutely. Go ahead. 9. Wyatt Davis of the Ohio State University. Wyatt Davis, no matter what. Day one right guard, if the knee is good, he would be the top guy on my board if he didn't have that knee issue. 82.6 PFF grade in 2019. 15 pressures, 0 sacks allowed. JK, 2K in the running game. Phenomenal in zone. And also has the power and anchor that you do love. 2020, played through a knee injury all season long, but came back for his teammates. You love to see that, but unfortunately just had that big-time injury in the national title game. Then Christian Barmore took over after Wyatt Davis left. He did do offensive line drills at his pro day, but I think that knee is a ways away. I think that he is the betting favorite to start the season on the pup. That's why his draft stock is dinged. Number 10, Creed Humphrey. Creed. Kirk Cousins will love Humphrey because Creed. 22, 6'5", 320, 3-year starter for the Sooners in the middle. Former teammates of Drew Samia. An absolute thick, THICCC, and phone booth athletic, better suited for man blocking, but I don't care. Like, if you want to get giant guys like this, he kind of reminds me of Elton Jenkins when he came out of Mississippi State. Just get dudes who are ready to rock and roll, man. Just get them. 11, Liam Eisenberg, Notre Dame, 23, 6'6", 305. 3-year starter at left tackle for the Irish. Last year posted an 89.9 PFF grade, watching Ian Book's blind side, 15 pressures, 0 sacks. Just a tough, old school, meat and potatoes left tackle. Sort of reminds me of Anthony Costanzo, but he certainly doesn't have the athletic upside as the other guys. But, I mean, he's just a brick. He's just a brick. You like it. 12, Jalen Mayfield from Michigan, 20 years old, so he is the young guy, and only played a total of 510 snaps total, but does have size, does have agility, can play tackle, also can project a kick inside as well. 13, James Hudson, also at Michigan, ironically, but Cincy, a 6'4", 302, Desmond Ritter's protector, former Michigan defensive tackle, only 1 year of starting experience at left tackle, but posted a 79.9 PFF pass blocking grade, 6 pressures, 0 sacks allowed. And you saw after he went out in the Peach Bowl, after that, he got tossed from the game for protecting his teammates. What can you do? And then Azeez Ojulari completely took over. And I think with Hudson, you do have that tackle flexibility. I think that he can kick inside as well. I think that he can play with leverage given his prowess as a defensive tackle and experience. So Hudson is a guy that if you take him, I think he's probably going to be in the late second, early third round. Same thing with Jalen Mayfield. I think you start him at guard to begin with, and then you have Ezra at left tackle. 14, Alex Leatherwood, where Leatherwood's draft stock, I feel like, has slid a little bit. And it's not so much about him. It's more that other guys have jumped up. But 6'5", 312, 3-year starter for Bama at right guard and 2 years at left tackle. Allowed 16 pressures and 3 sacks last year for the national title winning Alabama Crimson Tide. Roll Tide. And I think he's a bit of a tweener, where you like him overall as a prospect, but I don't think he's stout enough for guard right away. I don't think he's athletic enough for tackle, so he's sort of stuck in between two positions. But overall, a really solid player, and if you get him late day 2, I think that's a win. 15, Trey Smith from Tennessee, 6'6", 335, road grader, and I feel like he's underrated in terms of movement skills. Like, watching back his tape, he's a guy that can move. Is he Ezra Cleveland out there? No. But then again, who is? But a guy who can get after it. Former 5-star recruit, 4-year starter for the Vols. Played mainly left guard, did play some left tackle as well, but dealt with lung clots, but hasn't been a factor the last 2 years, so I think that he'll be fine medically. Just a guy that I really like. If you can get him in the third round, go ahead. 16, so a name that's been tossed around a lot, Spencer Brown, for coming down Northern Iowa. 6'8", 315. He's a small school power forward, a 2-year starter at UNI, no 2020 season, but an intriguing athlete. He might be too tall. As weird as that sounds, he may be a little bit too tall. He's going to have to play with better leverage, and I think that he is going to be best suited as the guy that comes in as possibly the swing tackle, a backup to begin, redshirt him for a year, maybe 2, and then down the line, could he eventually take over at right tackle for a team out there? Yes, but for the Vikings specifically, with Brian O'Neill, in case at right tackle now, unless they move him to the blind side, 17, Wheeler Walker Little Jr., 6'7", 309. He's the mystery box. So 2018 at Stanford, 81.2 PFF pass blocking grade, has the size and athleticism to win at the next level, but got hurt after a game in 2019. 2020 opted out, so you're 3 years removed from having really good solid tape on Wheeler Walker Little Jr., but upside guy and a dude who could potentially fall to the 4th round, yes. 18, Ben Cleveland. If you want the Cleveland show on the Vikings offensive line, 6'6", 350. Now, he is the antithesis of Ezra Cleveland, where he is nasty, he is tough. Well, Ezra's nasty and tough, don't get me wrong, but he is stout. He's got strength for days. He's got heavy hands. He's quasi-limited in athletic ability, but that's not why you're bringing him in. Like, there's a vein of guards this year where just like, hey, refrigerators, you are not going to move me, I'm going to move you. And I feel like the Vikings are missing that stoutness, that nastiness on the interior offensive line. And you know what? If you pick up Ben Cleveland, plant his ass at right guard, put Oli Udoh at left guard, and then you have Ezra at left tackle. Go ahead. 19. So Josh Myers of the Ohio State University, multi-year starter at center, 6'5", 312. And he is a smart, quick, scheme-fit center. Not the sexiest pick in the world. And I always counsel scout the player, not the helmet, but he's a very similar player to Pat Elflein. Now that could work out. It certainly worked out with Pat Elflein getting paid by the Panthers. And Josh Myers is this high-end, cerebral, quasi-limited athlete guy, but I don't know. And then 20, Quinn Maters, Uw-Whitewater, the Senior Bowl darling, tough and physical in one-on-one spots. You saw that early on, but I still think that he is extremely raw, and the jump in level competition is big. Now, he may get overdrafted because of the hype, and then you look at, he'll just be the next Ali Marpet. Okay, 6'3", 320. A lot of question marks, but overall, I like the kid as a prospect a lot, but I don't want him to be your first and only premier offensive lineman taken. Like, the Vikings get Quinn Manners, I would prefer it in combination. If they get Darius or Slater or AVT up at the top, then they circle around, get Quinn Manners at some point during day 2. And like we said, he may get overdrafted. He may be a solid second-round pick because teams are really in on the hype. But I think potential-wise, maybe in 3 years, could he be a high-end starter? Absolutely. Some bonus guys that I like: Kendrick Green from Illinois, Deontay Brown from Alabama, Deontay Smith, who did himself some really big favors by weighing in at 305 out of East Carolina, uber athletic left tackle, Jackson Carman, the tackle guard from Clemson. Well, he played left tackle at Clemson. I think he'll kick inside to guard at the NFL level. Brady Christensen, the blindside protector for Zach Wilson at BYU. I think he's being slept on a little bit, as well as Jimmy Morrison, the guard from Pittsburgh, who is really, I started digging on him a little bit more, and there's nothing that I don't like about him, as well as Tristan Hodge, the guard from BYU. And that's it. That's our top 20 prospects and some change for guys that they could put on the offensive line for the Vikings: tackles, guards, centers. I don't care. Whatever. Rebuild a bully up front, protect Kirk Cousins, let Dalvin cook, and then just get this offense on point, because it's been years. It's been the better part of a decade. The Vikings have been looking for sustainable talent up front, young, homegrown guys. They got some good pieces. Brian O'Neill is a winner. Garrett Bradbury TBD. Ezra Cleveland TBD. But just suture this thing up one time. One time for the kid. You have the draft capital to do it, and just get after it. Stop ignoring the offensive line. But other than that, I have no thoughts. Your thoughts, your considerations, top 20 picks in the NFL draft on the offensive line, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, pull some of the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.